Good morning. We kind of have a Facebook Live this morning that is kind of a surprise to all of us, but we're hoping that you were able to join us and that you've gotten your regular schedule Saturday morning going with artistic artifacts. So I'm Judy Gula, and we kind of have a Bernina Day today, and we're going to give you a little bit of information. So Bernina Red and Kathy, our Bernina ambassador, is in Bernina Red too. And right up front, if you've been able to come to the store, you'll know that every once in a while we do an upheaval and move things around. So we brought the Queen to the front. So this is our Q20 that we have here, and that you are able to test drive it whenever you would like to do that. And it's absolutely a fabulous sit-down machine by Bernina. And this cabinet happens to be the Koala 29-inch one. It moves, it's got some leaves in it. It's absolutely a great way to do some quilting. The other exciting thing that we have is we have these fabulously new thread packs from WonderFil Specialty Threads. And what they've done now is they've actually crossed thread lines. They've taken different categories: quilting, serging, sewing, garments, and they've pulled some threads from all different lines so that you have an opportunity to test them and in kind of a color coordinated product. So these are online now, and watch for an Instagram giveaway coming up maybe next week. So we have lots of these. They're all online. It's really great. So Bernina is our choice in sewing machines, and we would love to set you up in a Bernina. We have the best available stock in the Washington, D.C. metro area. We have many, many machines in stock. We also have these great books that Bernina has really come out with, many different ones. Big Book of Feet's been around for years. They just updated and done wonderful. Big Book of Serging, and then Big Book of Machine Quilting, and then we're expecting more of the Big Book of Embroidery. We're currently have that in the works from Chicago. So what we want to talk to you about is really, we want you to sew. We're really excited when people come in and go, oh, I'm learning how to sew. It's great. I'm having lots of fun. And the idea of buying a Bernina is very scary to them, but buying the $100 machine also might add some frustration to learning to sew. So we're trying to explain a little bit about why maybe that really low-end introductory machine might not be the best part. If you've been sewing, you like it, it's fun, you want to do more, then maybe it's time to invest in better equipment. And so we have Kathy Lincoln, who works with us at Artistic Artifacts. She takes care of all our mastery classes, which she converted to Zoom very, very fast, and is a Bernina ambassador, which is quite a big, to be approved and accepted as that position is a big kudos. So we're really happy to have her on staff. So Kathy's going to talk a little bit about this 480, and it's a Bernina Special Edition with the peacock. And to give you some ideas on the features and talk to you a little bit about maybe this isn't scary in price and in the ability to work the machine, and it might be just the next step for many of you who have been sewing during COVID. Kathy.
Yes, hi, I'm Kathy Lincoln. This is our 480 Special Edition. It has the lovely faceplate, the peacock faceplate. It has the 4.3 color touch screen. This machine has a lot of the high-end features that you wouldn't get until you moved up a whole series. It has all kinds of wonderful features, and it's all built in. Let me just change this back to this. It has easy threading, very traditional threading. It has the jumbo bobbin, so you don't have to wind as many bobbins, and that's really lovely. And it's actually also BSR compatible. It does not come with the BSR, and that's the Bernina stitch regulator, but it is compatible. So that's one of those things you could add as you grow your skills. This is really a machine that will allow you to grow and expand your creativity. You could start at this level, and then add things as you go along.
Here, Kathy, show them the difference in the bobbin. When we say big Bernina bobbin, this is what we mean.
Yes, this is the jumbo bobbin, and this is your traditional CB bobbin. There's a huge difference. The jumbo bobbin holds almost twice as much as the CB bobbin.
So you sew longer without winding bobbins.
Yes, and when I am machine quilting, that's really important.
Especially if you use Deco Bob.
Yes.
Yes, yes, and I will frequently do that. I will put a lower, a thinner or lower weight thread in my bobbin and than my top thread, and I have absolutely no problem with my tension. I don't get thread pop. The tension on this machine is wonderful. It has all kinds of other wonderful features. It has things like built-in tutorials. So if you lose your manual, because stuff happens, you can go to the home button, and in the home button you have your tutorial and you have a creative consultant. So you have a lot of information that's built into your machine. So if you have a question about threading, a question about needles, your freehand system, techniques, this is all here. Let's go there. And then the creative consultant, you have, you pick your weave or the kind of fabric that you're working on. Say I am working on corduroy. I'm making a little corduroy dress for my future granddaughter, because I don't have one yet. And then it will show me, and I pick whatever I'm going to do. Say I'm putting in this zipper. It's going to give me suggested starting places, a foot, a needle, the kind of thread, the stitch I should use. It is going to give me everything I need to start with. Now, you may do some adjustments of these things because you may be working on a slightly different project, but this will give you a place to start. And this is really helpful if this is something very new to you. Then you have the fun stuff. Under settings, you can personalize your machine. You can change the color of your background. You can change the texture of your background. This is a very high-end feature. And you can even change your welcome message. Let's see, H. And you have upper and lower cases. So you have the full range of and if you make a mistake, you can back up. And you have all kinds of special things.
Jeez.
And then when you're done, so now every time I turn on my machine, it's going to say happy day. I know that's a silly little thing, but it's fun. And it makes it yours. So now I want to go back to sewing. And there's another feature that this machine has that all Berninas have. It's called temporary altered memory. If you're working on a project and you're flipping between stitches, it will remember. So say I'm going to go to my favorite serpentine stitch and I'm going to make it 3 wide and 2 long. Oops, there we go. And now say from there I'm going to go back to my straight stitch, and then I can go back to my serpentine stitch and it's still the same. I have taught at a number of quilt shows, and I don't always get put into a Bernina room, which does make me sad, but there is a couple ways of using this that are very handy. And with the other machines, you have to dial in the numbers again. It does not save it. Now this will go away as soon as you turn off your machine, but you have this thing called Eco. So I can put the machine to sleep and go make dinner and then come back to it afterwards, or go walk the dog, or do some other tasks I really don't want to do, but I have to do. And then when I'm ready to wake it up, It's there. I can go back to sewing, and my stitch is still there because I didn't actually turn off the machine. Eco is like turning your computer on to sleep. So,
Buttonholes.
Buttonholes. Oh wait, do we have a foot?
Maybe.
Okay. We have a lot of buttonholes. And one of the things I like about the Bernina buttonholer is that I think there's one in the drawer. Yeah. Once you set it, let me go ahead and take off this foot, and we're going to get a buttonhole foot, and I will show you.
So you pressed this to get to your buttonholes?
The top one is your utility stitches. Then there is your decorative stitches, your alphabets, your buttonholes, and your quilting stitches, and your personal programs. So if I wanted to save that serpentine stitch, because I know that's how I'm going to use it every single time, I can actually save it, and then I just go to my personal programs every time I want to use the serpentine stitch. Now with the buttonhole foot, and this machine comes with this buttonhole foot, and it's kind of an odd looking duck, but it works amazing.
There's this man called Howard Lincoln. He said hello.
Oh, yes, honey. That's my husband. Anyhow. So, I put the foot on. I have the slide here. Now, there's two ways of doing this. So, let me go ahead and put this down, and I'm going to see how nice and quiet that is. This is the old school way. This is how I learned to do it on my first Bernina back in the 90s. And you'll see it does it all by itself when it gets to this point, and it will secure and stop. Now, I have programmed it, and now I can make this buttonhole, the same buttonhole, over and over and over again until I turn off the machine. And it's perfect. Now, there's one other way I'm going to show you real quick as soon as it stops sewing. Now, buttonholes are not just for garments. So if you say, oh, I'm never going to use a buttonhole, no, you will. There was one year I made 24 windsocks. Everyone got a windsock in multiple seasons. And I needed 12 buttonholes for each one of those windsocks. So that's 144 buttonholes. And because of the time my children were really little, I actually sat down and did all 144 at the same time in the same center. It was nap time.
I was going to say, where did you put the kids?
I had a play space in my studio. So this is in the little information icon. If you touch the center piece here, and you'll notice now I can put my button against the screen, and then I can dial the size, and the button will I will just make sure the little yellow line's just outside the button. And not only does it do the button size, but it adds the 2 millimeters you need to get the button through the buttonhole all by itself. And then you just hit the gas and go, and it sews it until you turn off the machine.
So say at the 3 series, does it have the repeatability or?
You know, it does. The
okay.
The 325 does not come with the buttonhole foot.
Okay.
The 335 does.
Okay. Because we do have a lot of garment people that come in
Right.
asking about what does the buttonhole look like, how easy is it to do, and that was a feature that I always felt was really pretty significant.
But the 3 series does not have the touch screen where you can then dial in the size. Because I'm sure you all have button boxes. I mean, I have my button box, and I inherited my grandmother's button box. And so there's odd sizes in there, and of course there's no card
that tells you what size.
that tells you what size it is. So this feature here is really, really wonderful. Then some of the other things you can do. Let's see, scissors.
Somebody wants to know, why would you have that many buttons?
Why would you have that many buttons? Buttons are an embellishment. You can put them on your books, you can put them on your paper journals, you can put them, you can put them on garments too, but you can put them on handbags. They are a fabulous, fabulous embellishment. But if you don't want any buttons and you have buttons, you can always send them to me. I love buttons. I use buttons quite a lot on my quilts as well.
Yes, and buttons, you can use buttons to tie quilts.
Yes.
So if you don't want to sew or quilt a quilt with thread, you can tie it. Okay, so there's other things that you can do with it. It does come with a freehand system. I don't have it set up right now. I showed you the built-in tutorials. I'm going to close that. I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to show you, this machine actually will sew through anything, including leather. All you need to do is have the right size needle. But you can then play with your embellishments. This is the number 22 foot. And it is designed to attach cording in a very decorative way. So let me show you how this works. I am going to put this foot on.
And these are called full shank feet. So they are not snap-on where the piece, you have the piece at the top and you snap on the bottom. These are literally easy snap, full shank feet Bernina has.
And
I see it.
sometimes it's easier to thread this foot.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to put this one on the right hand side. I'm using Razzle, Dazzle, and Sizzle. I do love these names. They're kind of fun. These are all wonderful threads. And they're all too heavy to go through your needle. So if you want to use them, you either have to do bobbin work or you have to do couching.
And Bernina does have a special bobbin case for doing bobbin work.
Yes, it's the red bobbin case,
Yes.
and it is so much fun. I was actually going to teach a class at Houston this year on bobbin work. Unfortunately, we all know what happened, and so that didn't happen. So I have my cords all in place, and then it has this little lever that goes across the top to keep them in place. And I'll just pull all that thread to the back. Just make sure it's all there. And then you can put your fabric down. Say you're working on a tote bag and you want it to be really, really fun and decorative. Let's get off into a new zone. And all you do is you pick a stitch that will go back and forth over them. So I'm going to pick the honeycomb stitch. And I need to put that back to the default because I was playing with it, doing some others. Actually, I want that shorter stitch. Okay.
The machine just hums.
And what I like about this foot is that it keeps the cords separate. And let me take it out and I can show you. Now, I might have not wanted to use the red thread, but I kind of like red and purple together. And see, isn't that a pretty little addition, embellishment? You could put this on your quilts. You could put this on garments. You could use this to embellish ready wear. So, you know, if you get something and everyone else has the exact same thing, well, you can change that and you can make yours special.
Personalize it a little bit.
Yeah. So that is the number 22 foot. You can also use all these other feet.
And that's why you have the Bernina foot book. So
Yes,
because they have a lot of neat, cool feet that they.
Now, what I like about this number 6 foot is it has this little hole here. And you probably can't see it, but it's just a single hole that you can put one cord through. I also use this when I gather. I will take dental floss, put it through there, and zigzag over it so that then when I gather up, the cord doesn't break. Like old school would be running 2 basting lines. And then one basting line always breaks, invariably. But this, when you're doing this over dental floss, it will come in there perfectly. You'll gather up, you'll be able to make it smooth, you'll stitch it in place, and then you'll pull that dental floss out because it will not have been stitched in because it's zigzagged over, because putting it through this little hole keeps it from being stitched through.
I like that idea. I always have the broken threads.
So, and this is the number 12. If you have larger cords, you'll see that on the bottom it's cut out.
Is this the one Judy used yesterday in
Yes.
her YouTube video?
Yes. It's wonderful for doing cords, but you can also run cords through the center there. And it has the big cutout. When I do piping on pillows, I use this because it rides right on the piping, and you never have to worry about it coming off the piping. There is the 21, which is actually designed as a braiding foot. And it has the large hole in the center. So say you had a cord like this cord. You could just tuck that right through there, because this cord would be too big for the number 22 foot.
Right.
So this you could actually, and then you couch down. So you can embellish garments, you can embellish quilts, you can just have a good time. And that's what this is all about. So there are multiple options.
Right. So we wanted to show you based on, we did a YouTube video yesterday about working with cording and how to use them in buntings and different types of panels and books and things. So these were some of the additional feet that are available for Bernina machines, and maybe if you don't have a Bernina, you have something that's similar or can work the same way. But check out our YouTube video about our, as I said, our Valentine kind of video, and it's really, I use cording a lot. I do a lot of zigzagging over different yarns, especially when I'm making books, because I like that flexible spine, and I like to do folding books. So we're happy to always show you a Bernina machine, but ultimately we want you to be sewing. So sew on whatever machine you have, enjoy it, be part of this fabulous community, and be creative. I think that that's helped all of our sanity, and we look forward to helping you when you want to purchase a Bernina. We're happy to do that, but as I said, we just want you to sew. That's what's the important part in this whole scheme of things.
And are these currently in stock?
We have stock of every machine
Yes.
that Bernina offers, including the Q20 and the Q16. They're all in stock. All right, we good? I think we wanted to do this today, show you a little bit. We're going to do a studio tour at one point in time at my house. We're going to do a store tour, and we're going to do a box opening. We're going to go record that. It's not going to be live, but we're going to record that, so we'll have that later. We just received 2 huge cartons from India, so I've been buying a lot from India, and I've been buying a lot from Indonesia, so we have some new artist panels coming. We have some new product from India coming, so stay tuned to Facebook and Instagram. Sign up for our newsletter if you have not received it already, artisticartifacts.com, and we wish you a creative day, and thank you for joining us today.